What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we have a real special treat for you. We are taping at Cumulus Media, home of classic soul and today's R&B, Magic 107.3 FM. Today's special guest is a radio personality and is the station's programmer, Mr. Jerold Action Jackson.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's just a
How y'all
pleasure
doing?
to be here, man. Can you tell our viewers how you got the name Action Jackson?
Well, I used to do a radio show in Detroit. It's called. It was just a radio show basically, and we did special things on this radio show. We did things like if you called up, if you had a complaint, blow it up, Jerold. That was called.
Blow it up, Jerold.
Blow it up, Jerold. So you would call me up, whatever you wanted to complain about, whether it was a civic issue, if somebody on your street was getting on your nerves, whatever complaint you called me up. And if it was a big enough complaint, I either threw it in the trash or I blew it up. And you heard the sound effects of dynamite going off. Probably couldn't get away with that now.
Wow.
And then we had another thing called Jerold's Bed Check.
Okay.
Now this is where it really got to be a lot of action. Because you called me up and you told me who you were sleeping with.
Man.
So it was a lot of action.
All over Detroit calling you, telling
all
you
over Detroit.
The business.
And then when I went to, when I did events or clubs, I had a lot of energy. It was like, man, you're into the action, man.
So we have our own Martin Lawrence here, basically, for you who aren't keyed in. Before Martin Lawrence was in Detroit.
Yeah.
Some of our younger viewers might not know that. Martin on TV One. We want to talk to you because you're a radio personality about a variety of current issues going on in the city.
Okay.
Get your opinion. First off, we want to talk about the plaza. What do you think about the teenagers on the plaza, Daryl Forte having to call a conference this weekend to talk about their behavior? What's the solution moving forward?
The solution moving forward, you're trying to create a solution for something that you're not really addressing.
Okay.
Which is you're trying to create a solution. You think a crowd of kids together are going to convince each other to do bad things because that's what they do. Mm-hmm. Even if you get a crowd of grown folks, if you get them all to agree, they'll do bad things. Mm-hmm. Now you've got an idle mind. Mm-hmm. Now this is how you address the problem. You've got kids with idle minds. Mm-hmm. So you're saying, okay, well, we're going to put a curfew on them. Okay, who's going to pay that curfew? Who's going to pay the ticket? The kids? They don't have a job. That's why they're free on the plaza.
Kids with idle mind, I like that. Being able to think through that particular lens there.
Right, if you got an idle mind, what the old folks used to say, an idle mind is what? The devil's workshop. Come on, dude, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, Mr. Jackson, we know that social media and smartphones dominate the scene in our children's school and our professional lifestyle. When I went to college, we were just getting hooked up with the email account in the late 90s. So social media has really blown up. Can you comment on the importance of keeping up with the trends and communicating in a professional manner?
Yeah, I remember the first time the guy came to me and said, you know what, we're not even going to have record stores anymore. We're not going to have record stores. This is back in 1992.
Really?
Record stores are going to be a thing of the past. Newspapers are going to be a thing of the past. And you know, if someone told me that Blockbuster will be out of business and be replaced by a vending machine, I would never believe that.
Wow.
But that is the sign of the times. And we keep growing, keep growing. Could you imagine the first person who said, you know what, we're not going to need horses anymore. We're gonna go into that electronic thing called a car. You know, remember that guy? And people didn't want to go into it. They wanted to stay in their old-fashioned ways of working it. And that's where we need to be. We need to be on that cutting edge. And a lot of times in the black community, I can speak, right? In the black community, we are behind because we don't want to change. And I'm sorry, change is going to happen whether we're there or not.
Well, Mr. Jackson,
you can call me Jerold.
Jerold, Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, sounds like
I'm talking to Jesse here. Jesse Jackson, we have your bill ready for you. Mr. Jackson, I've been reading a copy of your resume, Jerold, and it seems like you've been all over the South, South Carolina, Mississippi, probably leaving out a couple of places.
Birmingham, did Birmingham and New Orleans.
Wow, so you've been on the road a lot.
A little bit.
A little bit.
You know what? When I was in Mississippi, I was doing New Orleans and living in Mississippi. And that was fun, actually. until my wife said, you know what, you're spending an awful lot of money in New Orleans.
Wow.
And you're not bringing a lot home. And I was. Working in New Orleans was just fun.
So you're married and your wife
I was married.
Oh, you were married.
And the reason why I'm not married is because she didn't want to travel anymore.
Wow.
That wife. I've been married a few times.
Okay, okay. So a lot of fun there.
What, getting married?
Getting married.
The divorce part's not so much fun.
That's not fun. Well, you were a
radio... The cameraman's cracking up here.
Yes, yes. Mr. Jackson needs his own show. You were a radio personality back when R&B was R&B and New Jack Swing had come on the scene. There's so much I can ask you. How did you get your start?
I was 7 years old, and I was watching television, and then this TV commercial came on. It was a milk commercial. I don't know if you remember, but they had these commercials for milk, and they still have them today, right? So this commercial came on with milk, and it was a guy. He was super cool. He had his headphones on. He was working in radio, and I said right then I wanted to do that job. So from age 7 to 14, I had a burning desire to do that. That's what I wanted to do. And age 14, I landed my first radio gig. So yeah, I've been in this business.
14 years old.
14 years old, dog.
Do you see that trend happening today? Can a 14-year-old come in the radio station and say,
no,
put me on?
No.
That's that Oprah Winfrey stuff right there, man.
But if the child is going through a high school and he can get high school credits for doing it, yes. If the child is 15 now, in this state, we're in Kansas, in 15 in this state, I think 15 in Missouri too, if he had a work permit, yes, he could work if he wanted to.
I assume you're a leader. How did that translate? You grew up in Chicago. How did that translate into your school life, having your own show, being involved in radio, and going to high school?
You know, the one thing I could tell you is that being in Chicago, I was shy. I was shy. Even though I had a lot of...
What high school did you go to?
I went to Whitney Young.
Whitney Young. My cousin went to Whitney Young.
Really?
Easy Hill.
You know what?
She's a basketball coach.
A person who graduated out of my class...
Michelle, of course, Robinson went to...
Michelle Robinson. I never knew her.
Never knew her?
Never knew her.
Wow.
She was in my class.
Really?
In my class. I never knew her.
That's amazing.
Could you imagine that? I went to school with Michelle Obama,
lady, yes.
and I don't remember her at all.
Wow. You're dating yourself now.
That's fine. That's fine. You know what? I don't care. You know what? Growing up, I was told I wasn't going to make it past age 19 because I was a young man in the hood and all that kind of stuff. I was told that. So now that I'm 49 right now, dog, I'm proud of my age. I'm happy.
Awesome.
I'm grateful to be 49 today.
50 years is coming up, man. It's going to be a big birthday party?
I hope not.
You attended Michigan State in the early 80s?
Go Spartans, baby.
Yes. What pop culture influences were you exposed to? No, let me back up. Go Spartans. We want to know, how was that college culture inviting, or how did it continue your dream of becoming a radio DJ?
You know, I worked a lot.
You worked a lot.
I worked a lot. So I worked at a gas station to work my way through school. I worked part-time at a radio station. I did weekend gigs. At wedding receptions, I worked for an agency, so I did weekend gigs. I worked at a radio station and a gas station. So those things, I didn't get a chance to get into college life. I wasn't popular in college life at all.
I hear that.
Because I didn't have a fancy car. I had an old car. I didn't have a great sound system. I was working all the time, and I wasn't popular in school. You know, I was kind of invisible. In fact, for 2 years of my life, I washed my clothes in my bathtub. And you know, when you got a few dollars of money, dude, you got to do what you got to do. I sold blood sometimes to make ends meet, to get me from paycheck to paycheck.
Did your professors teach you anything?
Yeah, they did. You know what? The one thing I can say, everything, you were talking about technology, everything that I learned in college, none of that was usable about time when I got into radio. Full time and got into management. The marketing side of it, yes, I learned a lot from marketing at Michigan State that really propelled me and helped me. But a lot of what broadcasting was and telecommunication was then, it is not that now. And it was, even when I graduated, it's like none of what I learned I could use.
I've been reading your resume. Do you work more positions than just KMJK here?
Yes. Yes.
How does that work? Do you work long distance or
Yeah,
satellite link?
I actually program the radio station in New Orleans temporarily.
Right now?
Right now, I program that station temporarily, and until I find another program director for that. And we often do that. And I do it from here, and it's all done by internet. Or just like we did, I did a broadcast from Cancun during the snowstorm here, and that was done by what they call ISDN line. So the technology, you got to stay up on top of that.
Right. So have you worked from both ends of the technology? Did you work in the DJing days where you would spin records?
Yes, yes.
I guess what came next?
Well, after we did records, and then after a while, then people got into the cassette tapes, having cassette tapes. Hard to mix with cassette tapes. Mm-hmm. And then people started getting into the CDs. And I still, every now and then, I'll go spin some CDs, every now and then, but very rarely. And then now it's all your music, instead of carrying big crates, I'm sorry.
Big crates.
Big crates.
Very enormous crates.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, big crates. Now you carry in a laptop, and you hook it up to a machine, and you can mix right there on a computer. That's where it is now.
Pro Cut Tools, Magic.
Serrano, yes.
Yes. Okay. Mr. I want to say Mr. again. It's a silly color purple coming in. Jerold, what civic and community activities are you involved in?
Man, I'm involved with the Urban League. I'm involved with the NAACP. I'm involved mostly I like doing mentoring. Like, I do speeches. I do speeches professionally. I speak professionally. But if you have a church organization or anything dealing with kids, I'll do those for free. Unless I have to travel. And if I have to travel, then, and of course, pay for my travel expenses, but I'll still speak for free.
That's awesome, man.
So I do a lot of mentoring. I guess some people will call me up, my son is doing this, my daughter's doing this, and I'll try to help them as much as I can.
What do you speak on? Is there a particular speech you just throw out?
Positive mental attitude. That's my #1 speech.
Is that part of the Infinite Blue Ocean?
You know what? You know about Infinite Blue Ocean?
I've been reading the resume, man.
Like, not too many people know about Infinite Blue Ocean.
Okay, tell us a little bit about
Infinite Blue Ocean. My God, you know about that. Wow. I'm on the board of directors of Infinite Blue Ocean. How do you know about that? I need to check you out. You're a good investigative reporter. Anyway, Infinite Blue Ocean is a company where we actually do life coaching, but it's not just life coaching, it's mental coaching. And that's where we get you, we have 21 principles. We teach you how to change your life in 21 days. There's a big ocean out there. And we got this idea from all of us, because if you look at an ocean, if you go on a cruise ship and you look at an ocean, there's a big ocean out there.
Shannon, please call extension 3053. Shannon, please call extension 3053.
A couple of tribunes in here.
You could there's a button on there. No, that's gonna ring on you. There's a button that says IO at the top. Hit that.
So, do you offer scholarships, or is this just for millionaires? The Infinite Blue Ocean.
It's for people who are wanting to be millionaires.
People who want to be millionaires.
Yes, we do, but we do coaching for some other companies. I can't, because of a privacy issue, I can't tell you what those companies are. But we do coaching for companies that are already established and they already have people there. But you'll be amazed, only 2% of Americans even have a written down plan. Only 2%. 13% have an idea of where they want to go. Only 2% actually cultivate it, write it down, and execute it. Think about that.
Well, Jerold, can you speak a little bit about the challenges that you face getting on in the industry and challenges in general that African American males face in general? Is it easy?
In the industry?
Is it easy to get put on in the radio industry after coming out of school, coming out of training?
I'll be honest with you. School is great. What most employers are looking for is experience.
Experience. Yeah.
They're looking for experience. You can have. Be honest with you, man. If you give me a guy who has a doctorate in telecommunications, and then you give me a street dude who has experience on the radio, I'm gonna pick the street dude, who's never been to college, has a GED, over the doctorate who has never been on the radio, who's never had any experience, who's never walked inside of a radio station. I'm gonna pick the street guy.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, because I want that experience.
Honest assessment, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk.
That's gonna come back to hurt me. You know that, right? I just said that. Don't write me, okay? Don't judge me. But that's just the truth. That's how the industry is. That's the truth.
Okay, keys in the pocket there.
Okay.
Hush, hush. Jerold, a couple of current issues. Education, what do you think about the school accreditation issue in Kansas City, Missouri School District? Charter schools or leave the school structure as is?
The school structure needs to be totally abolished. It is. You are teaching to the test. You are teaching kids nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. You're teaching them to memorize something so they can pass a test so you can make more money in your school system.
That's awful.
That system is awful. It's gone. Forget it. The accreditation, none of them needs to be accredited because that's all you learn. I'm gonna learn something. I'm gonna learn what something is just so I can pass a test so you can make more money. That's it.
So give the children experience. We're not.
No, charter schools do a better job. You know what? Let me give you an example. This is for Kansas City, and I'm gonna say it. ACE School was a school that was teaching children. ACE, the African Centered Collegiate. Yeah, that school was teaching kids something, and they were actually engaging the kids, making them think for themselves. And I've never been in a school where I walked down the hall and there were 50 fourth graders standing behind me and I didn't know it. They all had their hands behind their backs. They were as quiet as a mouse. They were thinking for themselves and they were motivated. School system here in Kansas City decided they have the best school scores. Let's take over that charter school and see if we can get our scores back up. What you did was you turned it back into the same crap that you had before that made you lose your accreditation. Now, the people who are in that school, the ACE school, they're all gone. And the old policies came back in, and now look at them. It's an awful school again.
9 out of 10 teachers spend pocket money on school supplies. Why?
Well, they probably care, but then again, they're all being told, the teachers who spend their own money on school supplies, those are the teachers that care.
This is fun.
But think about it. They're being taught, they're teaching their kids to learn the test. Pass the test. That's all they want.
Yeah.
You can get your cap and gown, they don't care.
Invest in some credible school supplies. Sports, NBA standings in the East, Indiana is ahead of Miami by 3 games. Western Oklahoma City Thunder ahead of San Antonio by 5 games. These statistics were via yesterday at 5 o'clock. I know 2 of these teams have played since then. Indiana or Miami, Oklahoma City or San Antonio.
I'll be honest with you. I am not into basketball.
Really?
No. You know what I like? I like a team's attitude. I like their winning spirit. I like the Miami Heat and I like Oklahoma because they have that winning spirit. We're going to go out there and we're going to get it. We belong here and we have that spirit to go get it. That's what I like. I'm not into basketball, to be honest with you.
I just crossed out March Madness. Moving on.
No. Don't cross out March Madness because, Michigan State might be in there.
Michigan. Okay, we'll look for Michigan State.
Don't cross that out. Yeah, write that down because when you write something down, that's when it becomes real.
What are your Super Bowl predictions for 2015?
I think we're going to get to the second round. Kansas City, second round in the. We're actually going to get to the second round of playoffs. Seattle is going to be probably one of the worst teams next year. I expect to fully see maybe a Dallas Cowboys or the Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
Cardinals, right?
Yes, you heard me. You heard me. Now look, your cameraman's over there cracking up.
He has his own opinions.
Yeah, what, you think of Dallas? No, you don't think Dallas, okay? Here's the thing. Friend.
What's this, cameraman?
Yeah, Dallas. He don't like Dallas. But let me tell you about something, Mr. Cameraman. When you spend that amount of money and you expect some results, and Mr. Jones is going to expect results, and nobody wants to lose those big paychecks, they're going to eventually get it done. Okay, all right, Mr. Cameraman. Remember this. I'll put this online, right?
Yep.
You can replay this back. Now, if Arizona and Dallas are in it, People gonna come looking for me. Like, what's the scoop?
Question mark by Arizona.
Okay.
Black Hollywood. Black actresses over 45. Lynn Whitfield, Angela Bassett, or Halle Berry.
Wouldn't kick none of them out of bed.
How do you think 12 Years a Slave is going to do at this year's Oscars?
Not good at all.
Not good at all.
You want me to tell you why?
Please.
And nobody wants to feel like guilt anymore.
Uh-huh.
That whole white guilt thing, they're not feeling that.
So it was okay to make a movie, but...
It wasn't okay to make a movie. The producer had to put up his own money.
Right.
They wouldn't even want to invest in that.
A challenge to make
Right.
a movie.
If you think about the Oscars, my friend, they don't like comedies. They really don't.
Really?
Even though, I mean, Forrest Gump won, but they consider that a comedy, but they don't like comedies. There is a elite group of people, and the same thing with the Grammys. I'll get to the Grammys in just a second. But
Take your time.
for that, there's an elite group of people who make movies. And they have their idea of what it should be. These people are getting older and older and older. So a movie that has every single dialogue being sung, talking about Les Mis, that's their cat's meow right there.
Right.
We don't care anything about that.
So we're talking more American Hustle this year.
American Hustle, man, that's not gonna get it.
It's not going to get it either?
No, it's not gonna get it. You know, it's too well done, too commercially accepted. You know what I'm saying? Too commercially accepted.
Okay.
Grammys. The average person who's on the Grammys is 54 years old. They don't vote on what they know. You ever notice that on the music awards that there was three white guys and a Hispanic dude who was up for best R&B vocals?
Right. Right.
What happened to 2 Chainz?
Right.
What happened to Jay-Z?
Right.
What happened to Jaheim?
Right.
What happened to Charlie Wilson?
Right.
None of that got nominated. But for best R&B,
I'm with you on the Charlie Wilson.
Right.
R&B, we had Robin Thicke, and we had some...
Robin Thicke, Justin Timberlake, and Miguel.
Some other cool people, but not quite actually
Think
classic
about
old
it.
school R&B.
And then for hip hop, Macklemore? Really?
We're sorry, Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. What? Macklemore? Really? When you think hip hop, you think Macklemore.
Right, right.
Because
Because of Good Morning America, I actually do.
I understand. I like that. But by the way, same song, one of my favorite songs. And I like that the Thrift Shop song. I like that. That's cool. But if you think about all of the classic hip hop that was not classic, but if you think about all of the premier hip hop this year, none of those titles could even compare to that.
Well, my internship director, we have about 2 more minutes, loved Pink Floyd, so I'm kind of out of the box on all of it.
Okay.
We're talking about music here. Bill Brownlee with the Kansas City Star gave the Kansas City Music Festival featuring Maze, SWV, Slick Rick, and El Jabbar on Sunday. Pretty positive review. Any upcoming concert ideas possibly coming to Kansas City that you want to tell us about?
Nothing I can tell you about right now.
Or else you have to hurt me.
No, also we have to cancel it because here's the thing about concerts. Unless the artist actually signs the dotted line, we can't announce them.
All right, Jerold, who are some of your favorite artists?
Sade. Elton John.
Okay.
And Charlie Wilson.
Okay. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna leave the Elton John one alone, man.
Why?
Benny and the Jets.
Big dog, come on, you can't. That's your joint. That's your joint right there. You put on Benny and the Jets. You know what another joint is? I love.
I still ask my mom to the day why she bought that record. So
That's the joint. You know what? Black Radio played that.
Okay.
Seriously. And In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. That's the jam right there.
What R&B group would you like to see on TV One Unsung?
Wow. What group or what person?
Group, person, artist.
I'd like to see. Wow, that's a hard one.
Okay. Shy, Silk. Is that too new school?
No, Silk actually has the Shy and Silk. I wouldn't say Shy. Who cares?
Okay.
Silk.
I care, bro. Silk, not so much, but.
And H-Town.
Okay.
I'd like to see that unsung. Also, you know what would be interesting? Al Green would be an interesting unsung. And Sierra.
Sierra.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be interesting because what happened to her? She was on every record 14 years ago. Where is she now? She's pregnant. That's about it. That's all you.
She got her, rolled out of bed one day, and we didn't hear from her.
Right.
This past weekend, I grabbed my Valentine's Vibe issue from February 1991 with Drew Hill and Maya on the front, coming from my mom's house. There's a list of the 99 best love songs of all times. Okay, spill it. What is the best love song, Quiet Storm song?
Between the Sheets, Isley Brothers.
Won't debate it. Last question here. How does Kansas City fare as a city where young professionals can live, work in, and think about raising a family?
I would put it at the top 10. Let me tell you why. Kansas City is a large town. It's the 30th largest city in America, but it has that small town feel. And for young professionals here, a lot of the professionals are not even taking advantage of everything that they could do. Like today is Wednesday, right? This morning at A Million Cups at the Kaufman Center, there were no young black professionals there. Zero. Young black professionals at the Kaufman Center this morning. And they host every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock a coffee and a pitch for your idea. A lot of great business people are there, and no one's taking advantage of them. There's a lot of networking opportunities. If we just get out of our same comfort zone and mingle, and a lot of times we go to different events, what do? The black people go and mingle with the black people. No, get out of that. This is America. America looks like different things. You know what I'm saying? When you walked in here today, it looked like the Rainbow Coalition today, didn't it? All right. Didn't it? Am I right?
Yes.
And we work together all in harmony.
Yes. And with that note, I would like to thank you, Mr. Jackson Jerold.
My pleasure.
Cascade Media Group, I'm sure we were very entertained. I think it was a special treat. Check out more video online at www.whatsupkansascity.net. Remember, when can they check your show out?
I'm up on 9 to 2, Monday through Friday. And then on the first Saturday of the month, I do the Saturday Night Groove Party live at the Voodoo Lounge.
That's first Saturday.
First Saturday. It's called Saturday Night Groove Party Live.
Did they let you sneak out and roll at the casino table afterwards? Or?
No. I'm actually allergic to smoke.
Oh. Seriously?
Seriously, I am.
Okay. Check out more video online at www.whatsupkansascity.net. Remember, clean, safe environment. Shoot for the sky. If you aim for the moon and you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.